Okay, how come missions trips always have to be to the shittiest places that we can find instead of, somewhere nice?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And why do they always have to be closer to the equator instead of farther away from the equator where it's not sunburny and sweaty and musky and dirty and disgusting?
right.
Why can't we go to Russia or
No, that's fair.
Greenland or
Right.
Canada?
Right.
Why can't that be our international mission and we have to go to dirt land
Right.
or whatever?
Well, even where I came from just this last week, right? Like Colombia.
Yeah.
Like the equator literally runs through the northern part of Colombia.
Yeah, we have to go to the snake jungle. I'm tired of going there. I don't want to go there. I want to go to Russia. Can we go to Russia?
Sure, man.
I'll go to Russia.
All right. I will let you.
I know Russia's not a cool place to say that you want to go right now, but it's for Christ.
For Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will let you lead a missions trip to Russia. How
we
about
can
that?
go to Greenland. We're about to take that over. So we need to, it's an international mission for now.
For now. And then it will become
local missions later, or outreach, if you will.
Conquering for Christ.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. God.
The current administration is my favorite.
I know. You've never been more excited. I mean, genuinely, you've never been more excited about an administration before.
No,
just because of all the stuff they're doing.
I think it's funny. And
I
I like seeing people mad. It makes me happy.
I know. I know. You just open Twitter every day and laugh.
Yep.
I know.
What did he do? It's crazy.
Because you send me stuff every day.
Yeah,
all
I know.
Right, so,
it's funny.
Yeah, but no, you're right. I mean, we do often go to places that are in great need, and I think that's a good thing. Okay.
Why?
All right. Let me finish all of my thought, but I don't think it's the only places we need to go.
Okay.
All right. So I think it's good because the Lord has instructed us to care for the least of these. I mean, even when Paul was sent out.
That's rude.
It's not rude.
Yeah, it is. What's up, the least?
Yeah, well, those that do not have, right?
Okay.
Those that are without. And so, in other words, and they'll never be able to return the favor. They don't be able to pay you back. You're just doing it, hopefully, out of the kindness of your own heart, and loving God and loving others. And so, the Lord does, send us, to those places. And so you're right. Like when I, have been in the, villages of Guatemala or in the favelas of Brazil or Colombia or in the villages of Guyana or wherever, right? Like, yeah, you go to remote places and, I've been a place where our bed was a hammock for 8 nights or whatever it was, you know? And so you're sleeping outside. You're up by 4 a.m. to get started with work because by 1 or 2 o'clock, it's 114 degrees outside. And that's not an exaggeration. That's
set
crazy.
up a hammock in an igloo and I'll go.
And you'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, because, I'm not going to lie, dude. Like, if you gone down there, you just get roasted.
I would have died.
Like, I'm
telling you.
I know. Like, I'm pretty fair-skinned, but, like, dude, you would get lit up.
Yeah. I cannot go. Yeah. You went right next to the sun down there.
I did.
And it's like right there.
It
like
is.
So close you can almost taste it.
So I've actually been up, like if you go up north in Colombia, it actually is desert because that's, the equator's running through.
That makes sense.
It's just desert. Mm-hmm. And so I've actually been up there, like trying to find villages actually in the desert. And that was wild. But yeah, it was.
Nope.
It was scorching.
I'm not going to go.
It was so
I'll
hot.
die. I have to be hot in my basement. That's why I was really hoping that you called me a missionary because I didn't ask the question yet if I have to be a missionary to go to heaven. Yeah. So.
No. Yeah.
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 But at least I don't have to.
But no.
I'll go if we're in an igloo, though.
Okay. All right.
If we stay outside in an igloo or, in a resort.
You know what's interesting? Resort.
Yeah.
Then you're in.
Yeah.
So down in Colombia, what's interesting is Bogota, because of its elevation, is like 60 degrees when I was down there. Like it's crazy. So it's like running between like 60 and 70 degrees. So it feels awesome. Now I'm not saying it's not always that cool all the time, but it remains pretty cool.
Do they do Fahrenheit down there?
No, it's Celsius. Okay. Everything's Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, like when you're cranking down the AC, you're having to like go, okay, what is that in Fahrenheit? Because you're looking at going, that's 19. Is that cold or not cold? I don't know. And so I do the conversions, but
yeah.
We just turned it down to the lowest setting and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's what we would do. But anyway,
right.
Because they don't always work all that great,
Yeah.
And I was just thankful to be in a place that has AC, because a lot of times I've been in, on trips that we don't have AC. We did not have hot water. We just had cold water.
There's no need for hot water.
No, there's not. Actually, it feels really good.
Yeah.
You come in and you're just sweaty.
I'll be in the water the whole time.
You're just.
I'm not gonna go. But.
But if you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually. Yeah. So the showers actually feel really nice.
Just no.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. But all right. But you're asking about why we always get a battle. But there actually has been because you're right. Like, look, in the United States, when we think of missions, we tend to think of, going to, Central or South America, going to Africa, and you're thinking, or going maybe to India or Thailand or somewhere like that, right? And so you're right. We're thinking of going to places that are impoverished or that have that are just in need of a lot, right? And so that's true. There has been a movement lately, but probably not in the mission trip world as much, but in the missionary world, of getting missionaries into places like Europe, because the Christianity has declined so greatly in those countries.
Okay.
And so you've seen an uptick of missionaries going to European countries. I remember when I was in college and there was a couple and they had gotten married and they were going to be missionaries in France. And I was like, really?
Sounds great.
I mean, I was so judgmental. I was like,
I'll go.
You're like, really? You're going to France?
Oh, yeah.
That's where you're going?
That's
and like that's where you're going, like to do mission work. I was just an arrogant, just judgmental jerk. But now looking back on it, I'm like, because they needed the gospel, because Europe, I mean, being a fully post-Christian continent at this point,
right,
desperately needs the gospel.
It's a Muslim continent at this point.
It is becoming more and more Muslim.
Yeah.
The number one boy's name for babies in England?
Yeah.
Muhammad. And it has been that way for years.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's a yes. So you're right. So I actually think that individuals going to European countries to serve as missionaries for the sake of proclaiming the gospel is a really needed cause.
Okay.
And one thing we've not talked about really at all, and I do want to make sure we hit this because it can come across as, because we're talking about missions, we're talking about it from our context, but like missions has become such a global movement and not just a United States movement or Western, like U.S. and England kind of thing. Like you've got missionaries, from all over the world going to different countries now. So like you've got a lot of...
What's the point?
You've got a lot of missionaries going to Europe from Africa, from South America. And so I think that's incredible.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Okay. Okay, first of all, I have a different question, and then I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
All right, so why do American Christian mission trip people always have to go to where brown people are?
Yes. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is there some racism in where we choose to go do missionary work a little bit, or what's going on?
Yeah. So I don't think that, all right. At least for those that I work with, I kind of think that there's no racism or anything like that going on.
Okay.
All right. And the reality is that because we are so unbelievably blessed here in the United States, that when we look south of us, so we look down to Mexico and you keep going south, you just see unbelievable poverty and need throughout those countries. And historically, you've seen the need for them to come to know Christ.
Okay.
All right. And so those two things together have kind of fueled missions to Central and South America from the United States. It's the same reason it's fueled missions to Africa. You've got poverty and physical need, along with the fact that they need to hear the gospel. And so no, I don't think there's racism involved in that. It's just okay. Physical need plus needing to hear the gospel. Now, I do think where racism has come into play historically is the fact that you have white missionaries going to these places, and then when they would lead people to Christ, they want these individuals to now basically acclimate to a white American culture, dress like us, act like us, talk like us, do the things that we would do in it. And so therefore it takes on, okay, great, they've come to know Christ. Now let's make them be like us.
Right.
And I think that is where racism has been at play, even if it wasn't fully intentional or fully they weren't fully aware of it. Because I do think for a long time, there was just like this marriage between Christianity and the Western culture, right? And it was like, oh, well, in our Western culture, we act like Christians or we do Christian things.
Or like Christianity would lead you towards a Western culture.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so now you need to cover yourself. Now you need to have just one wife. Now you need to, all these kind of things started coming into play. And unfortunately, we started as American missionaries saying individuals, we're moving past essentials, right? We're moving past essential doctrine, and past essential things to follow Christ in. And now it was like, all right, y'all need to dress the way we dress. You need to act the way we act. You need to eat the way we eat. You need, all those kind of things. It's just kind of a weird way that unfortunately the missions movement at times played out in other countries through American missionaries. And not just through American, it could be European as well, when the Europeans were also sending missionaries, and I mean, anyway, so I think that has been a unfortunate reality. I do think most mission agencies are very fully aware of that now. And so when they're preparing their missionaries to go, or when they're preparing mission teams to go, they're asking them to be very mindful of the culture. Like when I'm taking teams down to, Central or South America, for example, or to India, to Thailand, we make sure they have cultural training of here's the culture you're coming into, here's understanding the cultural expectations and the cultural norms and those kind of things. You want them to become culturally aware. And so I think that's been a very positive thing. But it's also been one of the reasons that's, you actually have mission agencies that are run by individuals or ministries in these other countries that really don't want the white missionaries coming in anymore. Or really don't want them coming in as often. Like they would more partner with us by sending us money or by sending us people who can teach and train, but then let us do the stuff.
So they're racist too.
Because they're saying we don't want the white people. Well, what they're saying is two things. One, we don't want the white person coming in and forcing American values on these people, not just Christian values. And then number two, we want to see our own people trained up to reach people. And I think that's been a really cool part of the progression of the mission movement, is because now you've got individuals going out and being missionaries to other areas. Like a friend of mine who's a missionary a couple weeks ago was in the northern part of Africa, not in a very safe place at all. But he was there to train locals who were going even further into North Africa and into predominantly Muslim countries. And so they were doing training and those kind of things for these people going into these new areas of trying to reach people for Christ in really dangerous places. And so they're doing, and that's amazing. And there's even indigenous people groups in Colombia, for example, that are being reached by Colombians. They're not being reached by Americans. Like, I could never go into that village, but Colombians, dark-skinned individuals could, you know? And so I do think that's been a really cool progression of missions. So now, like the local church I partner with down there in Colombia, they have a whole missions endeavor into an indigenous community that's hearing Christ for the first time. Cool. And that's awesome. And it's this church spearheading it. And so, yeah, and it's been amazing. But it's, you know, it's really different. Like, individuals, when they come to know Christ, like, they have to leave the community. They're exiled from the community. And so it's a big deal when they come to know Christ. The community does not receive them, or does not allow them to stay, to remain. So, anyways, so yeah, I think there has been a progression and a movement in the missions thing. And I do think, like, for me, when we're going down to Colombia, what I'm being asked to do, go down there, I teach and I train. That's what I do. Like, that's the whole, whole thing.
Why can't they teach or train their own people?
Well, because
what do you know that they don't know?
Yeah, well,
they got the same Bible, right?
100%, 100%, and they're really good pastors, you know. And so, but at least with those that we've been working with, so for example, we actually partnered with a university here in the States and a university in Colombia, partnered together to create what's called a certificate program of, I think it was 10 courses, maybe it was 12 courses that these pastors and leaders went through to do Old Testament and New Testament and systematic theology and hermeneutics and all that kind of stuff.
Cool. All future podcast topic episode things.
And so we were doing all that, so I was going down there at least once, but often twice a year to teach these seminars that would do I do like a 4-day seminar that would launch a semester's course on Old Testament, for example.
Cool.
And so my point just being is they've not had the training in that sense.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
You could film it and send them a link.
Yeah.
Stop wasting money.
Stop wasting money. Well, that's
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you got but to be able to be down there to answer questions and all that kind of stuff.
Do it live.
It's very helpful. So, we have actually done some of those things recently.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. And so, yeah, even COVID helped with that, to be honest.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, we even did our first Facebook Live with the church down there during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that actually has worked. It has helped. And so, but anyway, we took a group of, pastors and leaders in this community through this training, and they had a graduation for them, and it was really awesome. And it was a big deal for them, but that's kind of part of it. Like, they've not had the Bible training or those kind of things. Now, when you do things like hermeneutics, which is that's cool.
What is that?
So hermeneutics is the tools that we use to interpret Scripture. So in other words, understanding scriptural context, linguistic context, historical context, not like a book, but cultural context of what's going on in the Scriptures. Okay.
Oh.
And so that they understand the passages of Scripture better, right?
Okay.
They're learning how to interpret. And so even this trip that I was down there, it was for pastors and leaders. And so it was just going down there and, again, equipping, training pastors and leaders. And so I'm grateful I've had training, like my doctorate was in preaching and leadership. So for them, it was like passing on some of that information, right?
Okay.
But then they take it and they run with it. And so you let them form it to their community and to their culture. You're not dictating to them how to make it integrate,
Okay.
And so, but it's just offering things like that. But then they go and they're doing stuff, right? Where they don't need us for everything, which is awesome.
They just need your money.
You know what's really cool? This particular church has never asked us for money. Not one time. Pretty amazing.
Because you give it to them so much that they don't need to ask?
This is what's wild. This trip, actually, so I've been down there for 10 times. outside of COVID, we gave a gift during COVID.
Okay.
Outside of COVID, this was the first trip I ever took money with me to give to the church. And it was a very small amount, actually, relatively,
oh, right.
It
was $5 because it converts to like $10 million.
No. It was actually really, I mean, it was $500. That's all that it was.
Okay.
But that actually converts to quite a bit of money
for
them. But our point just being is we don't want to like overgive to where they begin to expect it or want it. It just like, here's something to help offset the cost of the conference they put on, and those kind of things.
Okay.
And not that they asked for it or expected it. We just wanted to bless them with it. So it's cool seeing the local there on the ground doing more and more of the work now.
Well, tell them you're welcome for me.
I will send him a message. Nate says,
just kidding.
So I had the pastor's son.
Uh-oh.
The pastor's son is watching our podcast.
See?
And
why'd you go?
Right. He said,
I don't understand.
And he said, this is what he said. He said that the man you do the podcast with, I said, yes. And he said, he's crazy. I said, yes, he is. Yes, he is. And so, but no, because his English,
Sweet.
He's just kind of getting into where he's talking, speaking a little bit of English. And so, he's listening to our podcast, and so we're helping him form English words for better or for worse.
Well, he shouldn't listen to this one.
Yeah,
I'm only making fun of it down there because it's hot and I can't do it.
I know.
I get sunburned here. I'll just die. Because there'll be a point during the trip where I will forget sunscreen,
right? And
then we'll have to take some 48-hour bus ride, and the bus won't have a top on it, and I'll die. That's what'll happen. And then I'll be just burning in the hospital in a foreign country, and that'll be my life. And then I will die there, and that's why I can't go. Sorry.
You really thought this out.
Mooey gringo. I have thought this out because so many people have asked me, and I'm just like,
thought this out.
I'm just like, we went to the pool last weekend and I died. And that was in America. So I just can't do it.
I am glad you've put some thought to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But you're open to going to cool weather
I'll go
locations.
To Russia. Yeah.
Right.
Northern Russia.
That's right. You just want to be dropped right in the coldest part of Russia where there's no one living.
Jesus is good.
What a mission trip. Yeah.
Yeah.